does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web?
When Goku trolled Vegeta, my Bulma moment. In the DBS anime, Vegeta rejects the Super Saiyan God ceremony, saying he'll surpass Goku with his own efforts, and so Goku answers he is completely right, since he got a crazy power-up when Bulma was hit by Beerus.
What did you do to my Bulma?
Vegeta could only stutter when Goku came up with the "What did you do to my Bulma?" In Battle of Gods, the reaction is even funnier. Vegeta gets totally embarrassed and starts blushing when Goku imitates his "My Bulma" rage.
Oh, speaking of power-ups, when Bulma got hit, you sure went crazy, huh? My Bulma! That was funny.
He even jokes that in the next fight, they should let Bulma get slapped so that Vegeta goes all crazy again. But in the end, the one that gets the slap is Goku.
I guess the next time we're fighting someone that strong, we'll just have to get him to slap Bulma and then we'll be all good, right?
That's really funny!
Oh!
Kami's Lookout, or God's Temple in Dragon Ball, is a secret location where the Z Warriors often visit for training, but of course we all know it as the home where the Guardian of Earth lives, as well as his trusted friend, Mr. Popo. But one of the most interesting mysteries is why it cannot be seen from the ground of Earth, and why the mere Earthlings of the Dragon Ball world can breathe up that high. Heck, you can't even see the lookout from Korin's tower. So in this video, I'm going to go through the concept and dimensions of the lookout and its location, and explain why it should, in reality, be very visible from the ground below, because in Dragon Ball this would create a huge problem in the form of a plot hole. However, what may save this from actually being a plot hole are none other than Dragon Ball physics, which are completely different to real life physics, and I'm not talking about anything fancy. I'm talking about simply distance and atmosphere. If you're a fan of my Dragon Ball Z videos, hit the like button and let me know you'd like more. Hey, you could even subscribe and check out the rest of my library. I'm sure there's something there you'd like, and thank you so much. Now I want you to think about a commercial airplane that are typically 30 to 80 meters in length that fly up high around 30 to 40,000 feet. That's about 6 to 8 miles above sea level. When you look up to the sky on a clear day, there's no problem seeing that plane or identifying its shape. People from thousands of miles in every direction on that side of the planet would be able to see that plane up high in the sky. You wouldn't have to be directly underneath to see it. Even when you're up high at cruising altitude, you can see miles and miles and miles and miles in every direction. Surely any character on Earth should be able to see a circle shape floating up in the sky. Good old Kami's lookout. They would be able to notice it's not a moon or a planet, and a circle in the sky would eventually get investigated by the people of Earth, making it no longer a secret. We'll talk about the clouds in a moment. Let's talk about the distance to the lookout from Earth. First, we need to work out how tall Corin's tower is. According to the Super Exciting Guide, it states Corin's tower is more than 8,000 meters high, which would be more than 26,246.72 feet to be precise. But what annoys me with that is, why don't they simply state the exact height? They are meant to be the guide after all. Just give us the number. None of this more than bollocks. More than 26,000 feet, so what? 28,000? 30,000? Where do we stop? Okay, pet peeve over. Based on more than, I tend to sit it comfortably at 30,000 feet, which would be 9,144 meters. No jokes, thank you. You're 10 years too late. Akira Toriyama mentions Korin Tower being potentially in the stratosphere, which in reality would be within the ranges of 10,000 feet to 50,000 feet. And although Toriyama sounds like he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about in this reply because he's a comic book artist, not a mad scientist, I think close to 10,000 meters or 30,000 feet for Korin's Tower is acceptable and the safest bet in the Dragon Ball world based on what we've got in the guides at least. In terms of the lookout, Goku and Yajirobe could not see it from Korin Tower, and it should be noted the top of Korin Tower cannot be seen from Earth. There is zero information about the exact height of the lookout from Korin Tower or from Earth, but one would be safe in thinking it's at least another Korin's Tower worth on top of Korin's Tower, putting the lookout at potentially 60,000 feet above ground at least. Now you'll start to realize why Dragon Ball physics are completely different to real world physics, especially in terms of distance and atmosphere. In reality, if a plane flies 40,000 feet on a clear day or even somehow went higher to 60,000 feet, it would still be visible. So even at 60,000 feet, the lookout should be visible by the human eye. At 60,000 feet in reality should be well out of the stratosphere and into the mesosphere where no mere earthling body can survive. All that's said in the manga is that the lookout is much higher than Korin Tower. That's it. West City is right across the gulf there from Korin's Tower and is arguably the largest city in Dragon Ball. Also not far is the Red Ribbon Army HQ, which is basically its own city. The truth is, Kami's lookout should be visible if it's 10 miles high, and that would create a ton of problems for this secret location in Dragon Ball, unless, like I said, Dragon Ball physics makes Earthlings' eyesight 10 times worse than in reality. I tried looking up to see if there are exact dimensions for the lookout, but Toriyama is so inconsistent with his art, as well as the panels on the lookout grounds. They change per panel. A better estimate would be using the trees up there compared to the height of the characters. But the lookout can be estimated to be between 75 to 100 meters long. That's around 250 to 300 feet, or maybe bigger depending on which panels and images you use. But it's bigger than your average airplane, which means the altitude it would have to be for us not to see it would be dozens of miles or kilometers up into the sky, to the point a normal person would die immediately from freezing to death or depressurization. 20 miles up you wouldn't just need an oxygen tank, but the warmest pressure suit you can find. In regards to being constantly concealed by clouds or possessing some mystical invisibility cloak, these are completely false. It's at times referenced to be the temple above the clouds. In the anime, there was a moment Goku passes through cloud layers, but we also see him fly directly towards the tower and to the lookout with no hints of clouds. There clearly shouldn't be clouds covering it 24/7, 365 days a year. If there were permanent clouds in that location, Earthlings should notice this anomaly. And this is where Dragon Ball is different from real life. It's a magical world. There is an interesting panel where Korin says that even if a rocket came close to the sanctuary, it would be rejected. That makes you wonder if the Guardian of Earth would magically repel or divert incoming aircraft without them knowing, to keep the lookout secret. I don't think Kami would blast them down, otherwise he's not really the Guardian of Earth or the Earthlings, is he? Good luck surviving from that distance. But as long as they are weaker than Kami, obviously, he can probably repel them with magic somehow, because it didn't work too well with Super Buu crashing the party, right? Sure, Emperor Pilaf got to the lookout in Dragon Ball GT, but that's because Dende and Mr. Popo were massively distracted with Goku and Oob destroying the lookout. It's not like he was going to pause that fight and say, let me just repel Pilaf away. Which, if you go with the logic that Earth's Guardian can reject incoming aircraft or anyone, then sure, Dende could have probably stopped the entire Black Star saga. Then Baby would have got even stronger in space, and eventually enslave the galaxy and take over everyone, because no one can stop his power. Well done, Emperor Pilaf. Obviously, Bulma flies up there later in the series, but that's because she's known to God. It's never stated Kami can actually make the lookout invisible, unless his magic creates an illusion to weaker beings to make it look like it's not there. That's headcanon though. Now let's talk about the oxygen level levels in Dragon Ball compared to real life. There is no magical bubble of oxygen around the lookout, as characters describe the thin air up there. If Korin's tower is stated to be over 26,000 feet high, and the lookout is potentially double that, in reality 10,000 feet is where most people start becoming short of breath. At that altitude, oxygen levels are about 2/3 of what they are at sea level. At 25,000 feet, oxygen levels are about 1/3 of what they are at sea level, and apparently that's not even the height of Korin Tower according to the guides. Bulma, Mara, and Baby Trunks, all Earthlings can survive up on the lookout despite being subjected to the really thin air up there. So real world atmospheric conditions do not work in Dragon Ball unless Korin's Tower and the lookout are far lower than what the guides state, which would lead to the lookout being far more visible from the Earth, yet it still can't be seen, which again traps you because that would mean real-world distance and sight doesn't apply to Dragon Ball. At a limit, the lookout being 25,000 to 30,000 feet would make the most sense in terms of going in line with real-world atmospheric conditions. But even that's stretching it. Whichever one you want to go with, distance or atmospheric conditions, is broken because of the other. If an average Earthling were to do a full-blown workout at 25,000 feet, or even jog to the toilet to have a shit, they are going to find themselves in a bit of a pickle. The battle with Beerus in Battle of Gods, Goku was much higher than the lookout. Goku wasn't in the vacuum of space when fighting Beerus because he can't survive there. He was likely breathing in the stratosphere zone, which can go up to around 50,000 feet, where you actually shouldn't be able to breathe at that altitude no matter how skilled you are. In Battle of Gods, they appeared much higher than simply the stratosphere at times, more like the exosphere at times. Just let the story play out and don't question anything. Akira Toriyama is writing for the story, not to give us a math lesson. That's what power levels were, and look what happened to those. In conclusion, it is stupid why the lookout cannot be seen from Earth, but even if you claim it's too high to see, which would be dozens of miles high as well as being permanently concealed by clouds, then no mere Earthling could survive up there anyway. It's a plot hole when comparing it to real world physics, which is something you really shouldn't do with Dragon Ball because not only are Dragon Ball physics different, but it's a magic based world. Heck, even the lookout magically floats. People in Dragon Ball can breathe much higher than they can in real life, and apparently their eyesight sucks compared to real life as well because they can't see the lookout in the sky. Even Baby Pan can take the Pilaf gang all the way up to where Goku and Beerus fought, and none of them had trouble breathing. Just look at Monster Carrot, he officially lives on the moon. All of it, it's no big deal, just enjoy the world for what it is. It's essentially a gag universe made for fun. Even gag progresses the plot at times, and I just thought I'd make a video to address that. Sure, Dragon Ball is inspired by things in the real world, but what some Greek philosophers can't seem to understand is that just because something is inspired doesn't mean it's exactly the same in the story. Goku is not actually Sun Wukong. I don't know if you know that yet, but be sure to tell your friends about it. I mean, you can try to work out the height of the lookout by watching Dragon Ball Super Superhero and analyzing Piccolo free falling from it, and then calculate how high the lookout is based on how long Piccolo fell at terminal velocity. Here's the formula, and have a nice day with that. But thank you so much for watching this video. A shout out to Chi-Chi-verse on Twitter for helping me a lot with the information in this video. I really appreciate that. Go and follow her for more Dragon Ball content, and until we meet again, Scholar, keep being a role model.
In a dimension where realities converge, Vegeta, the sane prince, stood against Akuma, the embodiment of Satsui no Hado. The desolate battlefield, steeped in an ominous energy, amplified their intense auras. Akuma, with dark power radiating from him, faced Vegeta's unflinching determination. Their clash shook the ground, a display of raw power and martial prowess. Akuma's formidable Shungoku Satsu clashed with Vegeta's own might, pushing him to the edge. In this critical moment, Vegeta tapped into his deepest reservoir of strength, unleashing the formidable Ultra Ego form. This epic showdown, transcending worlds, was a testament to their indomitable spirits, with Vegeta's relentless pursuit of power and mastery shining as a spectacle of unparalleled might and resolve.
Which parent are you? In the bustling city of Nutriville, a group of extraordinary individuals has emerged, known far and wide as the Superfood Parents. They are on a mission to transform their families' lives through the power of nutrition, one delicious bite at a time. Meet Chef La Kita Marie, the culinary mastermind behind the Superfood Parents playbook. With boundless enthusiasm, she welcomes you to embark on a thrilling journey to becoming a true superfood hero. But what exactly does that mean? In Nutriville, superfood parents are everyday heroes. These superfood parents lead the charge for better health, but not with capes. They lead with carrots, and whole food fats like avocados. And instead of masks, they lead with mangoes and berries. Fruits and vegetables are the disease-destroying arsenal of heroes. Are you a disease-destroyer superhero for your loved ones? Fruits and veggies fuel the mission of heroes like Veggie Vixen. Are you a Veggie Vixen for your loved ones? Dedicated to ensuring their loved ones thrive on a diet rich in faves, fruits and vegetables. Here's your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to guide your family to superhero status by reaching the highest levels of health and wellness daily. Become a plant-powered titan, a superfood avenger, or even a faves crusader by earning 5 points for every fruit or vegetable eaten. It's a fun-filled quest where nutrition meets excitement. All of the digital details are at superfoodparents.com for the full experience. Superfood Parents has also created workbooks, where you'll discover the tools you need for success. These workbooks give you the heroic strategies to craft your grocery list like a seasoned hero. Which means you now have a playbook to even track your weekly meals like a true champion. And engage in mind-bending nutritional education with word searches that will keep your family entertained and informed. So, are you ready to join the ranks of the superfood parents? Are you prepared to unleash the power of faves and make every meal a heroic endeavor? If so, flip the page of the Superfood Playbook and let's begin your journey to becoming the ultimate superfood hero.
To become a sponsor, just visit superfoodparents.com.
Sounds like you're being a little bitch, Vegeta. Kakarot, the little last time I fought him, he poked my head and I got knocked out. Motherfucker, I've been poked in the head by Michael Strong and Florida Man. You think you scare me, Beerus? You ain't shit. Like I said, I'm one transformation from becoming that. You know what? I ain't even about to do that. All right, Saiyan, number one, I can kill you with 80% of my power. Let's be honest about that. Yeah, you've gotten stronger, but I can do that. Number two, I'm not fighting anyone until I get my damn pudding. Whis! Yes, my lord. Where's my shit? Well, I'll run to Bulma and grab it right away. You two play nice. It's not that I'm scared of fighting him, but I also know how to pick my battles. I've grown wise in my age, Kakarot. Is Whis back with my pudding? Okay, no. So, saying if you touch me, I'm gonna kill both of y'all by nuking this fucking planet. Kakarot, he's not playing around. And you know I'll do it. Prove it. Well, let's run them hands, though. Let's run them. Cool.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the fucking crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now this was certainly something that I did not see coming, especially when considering the fact that not only am I surprised to see what Goku Black had went and achieved, but I'm more so horrified by the idea of what this deadly new power of his is truly made of. Because if our heroes don't hurry and try to find a way to put an end to him right now, then with whatever this new form is that I'm sensing that's coming from this fallen Makaioshin, will it only serve as a painful reminder of how hopeless our heroes truly are to make a difference in this battle.
our story now continues following the initial battle involving Super Saiyan 3 Rose Black having to battle against our heroes on Earth following his initial Dark Army being sent back to their own respective timelines courtesy of an alternate Zamasu, as with Super Saiyan Rose 3 Goku Black being shown having to continue his battle against full-powered Super Saiyan Broly was when Goku Black then went on to chime in, "Well, I will admit that your power is far more impressive for it being something that a primitive beast like yourself which cannot manage to find a way to control, but if you honestly think that you will be getting the better of me solely off of your raw anger and power alone, then you are mistaken, for you Saiyans are without a chance if you believe that your power despite its massive size would be large enough to beat me, for you should have already known that this would happen upon choosing to battle against a god such as myself." Black went on to then knee Broly in the stomach. "But perhaps I was wrong to have not searched for another Zamasu who had taken your body in another timeline, for you would have made for the perfect vessel for my counterpart to go and use against humanity. But perhaps once I am done slaughtering you all, will I only then go and check. Now kneel before your one true god and accept your fate, because you will only go so far against me here while you..." But then, it was only just upon with Goku Black being shown having to punch Broly away upon them being shown looking on down and noticing Beast, Gohan, and Piccolo making their way towards Black was when Beast Gohan then went on to shout, "Hang on, Broly, we're coming, and so you aren't going to do this alone," with Black having to then chime back in, "Those worms again, but surely they weren't able to raid all of the other Zamasus within such a short amount of time like this, have they?" But it was only just before Black could even go as far as to realize it, with Broly being shown grabbing onto Black's neck, was when Goku Black then went on to respond, "Guys, it's why you let go of me, you beast." But Broly was not having it, because upon Broly then being shown having to headbutt Goku Black with the others making their way in was when Goku then went on to shout, "This is it, you guys. While Broly is able to get the better of him within the moment, we've got to go and make our way in and attack him right now. And so now is the best time for us to go and take him down while we can. And so out of the way now, Broly. Everyone remember to stay on him no matter what, because we can't have him go and try to escape and leave here either." In which upon that very moment, with Ultra Instinct Goku then shown having to punch Black in the face before sending him back down, was when Goku then went on to continue, "Nice try, Black, but if you thought that by bringing an army here to try and stop us was going to work, well then you can go and guess again. And so now hurry, you guys. He's making his way down towards you both right now." "Right, and so we've got him locked within our sights," Beast Gohan went on to then respond. "Now let's go and bring the pain right back to him, Piccolo." "Damn them. How could this be happening to me?" Black then went on to question. "This wasn't how things were supposed to go upon coming here." But as both Gohan and Piccolo were then shown having to punch Goku Black in the stomach upon Black being sent up flying towards Vegeta, was when Piccolo then went on to respond, "You should have remained dead instead of choosing to go through with this kind of pain against us like this again, and so he's all yours, Vegeta. And to think that you could go and challenge me again as you are and think that you could have won," Vegeta says, "only goes to further prove that you have learned absolutely nothing since the last time you've experienced this. But allow me to go and remind you of that very pain that I went and put you through before, you disgusting excuse for a Kaioshin." In which as soon as Vegeta was shown having to double axe handle Goku Black across the back of the head and causing Goku Black to hit the floor below, was when Vegeta then went on to continue, "For you were shown having to lose once before, and you will once again be shown having to lose again here today, Kai." "That's right," Goku then went on to chime in, "and if you truly know what's good for you, then you should just go and give up now, because you aren't going to win here, and you know it's Black." To which even then, despite with Goku Black now shown having to struggle in standing back up upon being shown getting dropped back down, was when Zamasu went as far as to approach Goku Black by then responding, "Just take a look at what you've become. The irony of your existence is as fascinating as it is troubling to watch, because it's tragic in a way, for it's tragic to watch you descend into madness and hypocrisy, only for it to open my eyes in seeing the truth behind the very lies that you were telling this entire time. But you don't truly care about any of that, right? No, you don't. And in your quest for ultimate power and control control, Zamasu continues, you have grown to become the very thing that you grew to despise, a hypocrite of the highest possible order, and deep down you are desperate. For you have become the very monster which you have grown to hate, yet your ambitions to still want to continue with your plans, despite failing the first time you've attempted them, goes to show on how desperate you truly are to see it through. And in your merciless slaughter of Gowasu from my timeline, along with the imprisonment of the Gowasu from yours, Zamasu continues, you went and revealed yourself to be the very epitome of the same corruption that you sought out to eradicate from the cosmos. As your hatred has blinded you to the realization of what you had become, and I will not stand and allow for you to continue to use me as your pawn in this sick and twisted game that you've created. And by declaring this, I acknowledge my role in your creation within the cosmos that now unfolds. And even though my hands are not clean, Zamasu adds, I will do what must be done to correct this egregious mistake, for your downfall will be a testament to my resolve in correcting the atrocities that you yourself have caused, and that, my dear Zamasu, I will guarantee. And although I never would have imagined for things to turn out the way they did, you are not what I would have aspired to become. You, a Kaioshin with status, who chooses to use a mortal's body and the mortal's power to go and try to destroy all mortals within the multiverse, are an abomination. And without the aid of your dark army to stand at your side to see that you win, you are now left to fend for yourself all alone with no one to blame but yourself for what is about to happen to you, Kaioshin, with Black then having to shout, How dare you go and turn your back on me after I went and offered you a chance at salvation, you treacherous little worm? And just who exactly are you to deny me of my destiny, you repugnant fool? And if I would have known that you would have turned against me like this and stabbed me in the back, then I would have ended your life the moment I ended your master's when I came to you, with Zamasu responding, well, it's a real shame, isn't it? But if one of us is destined to perish here in battle between us, then let this be how your story finally ends, and by having this come by none other than your very own hands, Black. But then, it was only just before Zamasu was able to cut Goku Black down, with Goku Black then shown grabbing onto Zamasu's saber, was when Black then went on to respond, actually, on second thought, I have a far better idea, you traitorous little worm. Because maybe you haven't figured it out by now, but I'm not the one who will be the first to fall between us. In fact, I believe that you appear to be overlooking one very important detail here, Zamasu, and that is those who live by the sword will ultimately die by that very same sword, as you, fellow Zamasu, have actually lived long enough. And so before you are destroyed, understand that you never stood a chance here against me, and you never will. To which, shockingly enough, from out of nowhere, as Goku Black was then shown having to unleash a gigantic energy blast, which further went on to overtake Zamasu whole, as with the others then having to oversee this, was when Goku then went on to chime in, Vegeta, this is really bad. He's even going after his own by slaughtering himself if it means getting what he wants in the end. I can't believe it, Vegeta responds. He's going to destroy himself in order to go and destroy us in the process. No, he won't make it, Beast Gohan then went on to quickly shout. So we've got to go and do something now before it's too late, or else we're going to lose him, you guys. No, Piccolo then went on to quickly chime in, for it would be foolish to go and try and save him, because from what it looks like down there is nothing that we could do to save him, because it's already too late. And so as sad as it is, we'll need to remain where we are at the moment and wait and see on what his next move will be. To which moments later, with the dust and debris now beginning to settle all around Goku Black, with Goku Black now being shown standing tall, was when Black then went on to continue, good riddance, you treacherous little meddling rodents, and to think that I would be so kind as to trust you. Well, never again. But now that he's out of my way, allow me to fill you all in on a little secret, mortals. You see, what you are all seeing now is my semi-final form, a prelude level of power which is a placement holder for something much, much stronger, as the fall of Universe 10's God of Destruction was but the first step in my grand design, a design where I, as its architect, have discovered secrets hidden from even the most divine beings, Black continues, and once I complete the final ritual needed in order to officially be given the title of Universe 10's new God of Destruction, I will then become that much closer in realizing my destiny, while you fools are all destroyed in the process of it happening. But just because I am not an official destroyer by title, does it not mean that I too don't share the ability to wield the power of a destroyer myself, for I had made a discovery. As this groundbreaking discovery of mine transcends the mere act of destruction itself, for I have found of ways to harness the residual energies of my absolute potential in further channeling my innate strength into a form that goes far beyond this one. And since your understanding of power is elementary at best, allow me to explain. You see, after using the time rings given to me in order to peer into the annals of history, I not only had used those time rings to look into and study your powers, but I also went as far as to find a way on how to combine them. And while I struggled to tap into and figure out the ways of entering into and mastering the power of Ultra Instinct, I instead went and took interest in two other sources of power who had given me just what I needed in order to go beyond the domain of the gods. Vegeta and Gohan, Black continues, and while carefully observing Vegeta's usage of his destroyer power, which was embedded with both anger and divine might, I then began to take notice and observe Gohan's beast form after, which I only then later noticed was forged through his raw, untapped potential that was fueled by his rage as a half-breed that had later inspired a convergence of cataclysmic proportions within myself the very moment that I had went and seen this. For when I faced you all before, I had overlooked the fact of using anger as a way to grow like how you were all shown using, which was why my growth was cut short before I could go and exercise this approach, Black says, prior to fusing with my future counterpart, Zamasu. And while my potential is vast and my adaptability being boundless, Gohan over there has proven throughout history that potential is everything in a fight. And now I intend on maximizing mine. And while you may have stalemated me through your combined efforts in unifying yourselves as one here against me, there is nothing that will prepare you for the nightmare that you are all about to experience, as I made sure to prepare myself very thoroughly this time around, for you are all doomed and there will be nothing that either of you can do that will change that. And if you truly believe that you are able to understand the concept of what it means to maximize and evolve divine powers greater than that of a god, then you fools are already dead and you don't even realize it yet. And so you should all feel honored to be within my presence and witnessing what is about to happen here, because Universe 10's Angel along with that pathetic Kaioshin Gowasu were the only ones who were able to see it when they did. Only this time, as our battle reaches its final moments, Black continues, it will be you who will fall one by one until I make sure that there are none of you left that remain. And if you thought that I was difficult to handle in battle as I currently am, then just imagine on how big of a problem I am going to be once I go and reveal my true power. For the scales are now tipped in my favor here against you, Worms, Black adds, and it's only going to be a matter of time before each and every single one of you crumble. For no longer will I stand to have you mortals come in between my plans, nor will I allow myself to ever fall like how I have fallen to you before again. Now watch as I reveal to you a power which you have never seen before and never will. For I am Zamasu, and I am without an equal, Black continues. To which within that very moment, as Goku Black was now beginning to transcend himself and evolving into showing everyone his final form, was when Goku then went on to chime in, "Whoa, Vegeta, are you sensing that too? His desire for wanting revenge for what had happened to him before has caused him to completely lose his mind in the process. Oh, and whatever kind of power he's about to go and introduce is certainly going to be a power that we simply can't underestimate or look down upon either, Kakarot," Vegeta says. "Piccolo, are you seeing this?" Gohan then went on to ask. "Look, he's starting to change, but how is he able to pull something like this off without destroying himself in the process? His power, it's unreal. Oh, I knew that he more than likely was hiding something far stronger the moment we started fighting before you all arrived. And it looks like I was right," Gohan continues. "And to make matters worse is he went and used my methods of harnessing my potential on the surface to go and do it too. Oh, and so now what do we do?" With Piccolo then having to respond, "Well, I don't like this one bit, and so if we don't hurry and find a way to go and take him down now, then he'll simply just go and continue to adapt himself and grow even stronger while the rest of us struggle to keep up, and so we can't go and take any chances against him here either. Oh, and to think that this bastard would come back only to later eclipse us all in power like this is deafening," Gohan adds. "Especially as of right now, but look, I think he's finished, and what a terrifying power." In which moments later, lo and behold, with Goku Black now finally having to unveil the fruits of his training in having to demonstrate and showcase his newly found transformation, was when Goku Black had then gone as far as to stand tall by then addressing everyone and responding, "And now behold, mortals, for I now stand before you all, reborn, but not merely as your adversary in this war that we continue to wage, but as a deity beyond your feeble understanding, for I now stand as the Alpha among you, as I hereby want to introduce myself to you all as Makaioshin Goku Black. And while I stand here before you all at the pinnacle of my supreme power," Black adds, "I am no longer second to any of you in stature, as no amount of singular prowess or combined might will be able to stop me now. And as I wait here ready to destroy you, I want you all to mark my words, that each of your roles in this life will be remembered as being nothing more than footnotes in my grand design by the time this is over." What the heck is that?" Vegeta then went on to further question. "I've never seen such a form like this before, and what's even worse is that his power appears boundless too." "Oh, well, this isn't good," Goku then went on to respond, "because just when we thought that things were over here between us, it only now looks as though they are just getting started," with Black having to then continue, "Just look at this, would you? I am unbeatable, and now that I am at the pinnacle of my power with no rival in sight, I am going to take my sweet time in making you all suffer nice and slow, for you are all without a hope in the world of defeating me now," with Gohan questioning, "Unbelievable. And so now what do we do?" with Piccolo responding, "Incredible. Well, we've got to go and hold our ground here against him is what we're going to have to do, and so get ready, because this looks as though it's going to be the real deal here, Gohan," with Black having to then chime back in, "Oh, and I can promise you that it will, because not only am I going to enjoy this in more ways than one, but I am going to make sure that you all pay for everything it was that you did to me, mortals." As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of Goku Black's resurrection manga chapter number 17 special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment. comment section. Now, I will go as far as to say that even though I am quite shocked to see the lengths that Goku Black had went to in order to achieve such a dangerous and unstable power, it's only fitting for him to refer to his form as something that is only reflective to that of the once sinister Makaioshin, who once reigned over the cosmos before they were sealed away. And even though our heroes do appear as though they will most certainly have their hands full in this upcoming battle, you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video. As before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to Unrealent Gaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrealent Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
No, this is maddening! It's bad enough that Kakarot has surpassed me in power, but now his son has too?
Here, take this.
I hate when I'm forced to take these!
What were you doing out there? You should have had it! Every time you throw down the gauntlet, you represent the same race, which means when you fight badly, we all like the fools! You go too easy on your opponents. Take a good look at yourself. 2 of your friends' lives were in the balance. And you crumbled. That's right. So how about Piccolo? Why not Gohan? Certainly you realize your son has the most latent ability of all the fighters we know.
Remember that time when Beerus fought 11 gods of destruction at once? As Goku returns to Beerus's planet to train, Goku reminds Beerus about the promise they had made to the Omni Kings after they held their tournament against Universe 6. However, Beerus would just prefer that Goku drop the issue altogether, but this wouldn't be enough as Goku, being Goku of course, decides to press the red button that would send him to the palace of the Omni Kings despite Beerus's wishes. And as the Omni King plays chess with the multiverse in the Divine Realm, contemplating on whether or not they should erase a few universes from existence, Goku suddenly appears, greeting the Omni Kings and reminding them about the Universal Tournament, which unknowingly stops the Xenos from erasing the universes in just the nick of time. The Grand Priest then decides that the Tournament of Power should be held within 5 ticks, which would have roughly translated to 40 hours on Earth. However, before Goku can head back to his universe to prepare, the Grand Priest halts Goku for just a moment as he reaches out to all of the angel attendants from the 12 universes to prepare their gods of destructions in the Supreme Kais. And as all the 12 universes are ready, the Grand Priest summons all the 12 gods of destruction, their angels, and even the universe's Supreme Kais. As Goku is amazed at the sight of all 12 gods of destruction kneeling in the Omni King's presence. The Tournament of Power is then announced to every universe. However, although things are moving smoothly for the Xenos, the Omni King from the future Trunks' timeline never had the events of Universe 6's tournament happen in his own timeline. Thus, he doesn't truly know what a Tournament of Power even looks like. And this notion prompts the Grand Priest to set up a tournament exhibition match, which would see the gods of destruction entering the stage, shocking everybody, especially Champa, who states that he hasn't trained in several decades. As the gods enter the ring, Quintella inquires about the rules for this tournament with the Grand Priest, to which the only specific rule given for the exhibition match is that each of the gods of destruction were to give their all during the battle, or they would face being erased by Zeno himself. And as the gods take a moment to process the ensuing battle, Quatella calls over to Beerus stating that they can finally settle who is the strongest between the two of them, as Beerus had already lost an arm wrestling match to the god in the past, and Goku from the stands in usual Goku fashion wishes Beerus luck in his battle, being completely oblivious to the mess he's just created. However, in a moment of pure rage without carefully contemplating his words, Beerus yells out to Goku that he is the one responsible for this entire ordeal and he shouldn't be so lighthearted about it. However, as Beerus realizes what he had just said, the other 11 gods of destruction are seen staring menacingly at Beerus, who might just be regretting his outburst. As Quatella states that Beerus had just dug his own grave, and Belmod recalls a time where Beerus also put every universe at the verge of being destroyed in the past, to which Whis elaborates on what Belmod was referring to Goku, explaining that at one point Zeno had planned a hide-and-seek match between the gods, and Beerus had accidentally fallen asleep for nearly 50 years, causing the game to have to be brought to an end, which made Zeno extremely angry, to which all the other 11 gods of destruction had to pick up after Beerus's mess just to calm Zeno. And finally getting an opportunity to take revenge on Beerus for the past times he's nearly gotten them erased, and for the current tournament of power, the other 11 gods of destruction decide to start the tournament by picking off Beerus early in the match. As the gods ready their fighting stances, the Grand Priest calls for the gods to begin, as 11 gods of destruction bolt directly towards Beerus. Beerus manages to dodge the first 5 gods of destruction's attacks, that being from Jin, Iwan, Liquor, Heelys, and Belmod, to which Whis explains to Goku that Beerus's body can sense all impending attacks surrounding him, and that his body can react accordingly. However, even Lord Beerus is imperfect, as Beerus is eventually caught by Mule. However, as Champa, Rumshi, and Quatella charge to attack Beerus, Beerus manages to escape just in time, evading their finishing blow. However, in an impressive maneuver, Beerus tosses Champa into the air, fooling the other gods of destruction into taking to the sky, believing that Beerus was the one being hurled upwards. However, as the other gods of destruction realize this, Beerus actually reveals his real location as he emerges from underneath Mule, as Beerus then launches a destruction blast directly at the surprise gods. However, as they recover seemingly unscathed, Belmont lands a surprise kick to the back of Sidra's neck, as he proclaims that Beerus isn't the only enemy that they have in the arena, and that every god of destruction should fend for themselves. Belmont would take to the air, trapping the other 11 gods of destruction in an energy barrier, as Belmont then creates cards assumingly made out of God of Destruction Ki, as Iwan wonders if Belmont was actually going to try to kill them. Belmont would then launch his attack, as the other trapped gods of destruction can only helplessly block themselves to fend off Belmont's strikes. And breaking free, Liquor uses his tail to fire a barrage of attacks directly at Belmont, knocking him out of the sky. However, as the smoke clears, Heelys launches one of her arrows directly into Liquor's arm, as out of nowhere Rumshi lets out his own massive battle cry, knocking out the Supreme Kais and leaving the gods of destruction staggering and frozen in place, as Rumshi then plows through the gods of destruction, knocking several of them into the air. Arak and Jin are then shown firing their own ki attacks at each other as an all-out brawl ensues. As Champa is seen finishing off Sidra, Mule is also shown holding Liquor in one arm and firing an energy beam out of his eyes at Heelys, and as the dust settles, Beerus is seen heavily damaged and out of breath, landing his finishing attack on Rumshi, as Quatella is also seen finishing up his hard-fought battle with Iwan, and Beerus and Quatella finally face off against each other, as Quatella proclaims that they can finally end their rivalry. However, as the two charge in to land their final attacks and see who is truly the strongest god of destruction, the Grand Priest intervenes, stopping the two mid-blow with just one finger, as the Omni King could no longer keep up with the fast-paced battle between the gods of destruction and had grown extremely bored with the tournament's outcome. This is easily one of the most epic battles in all of Dragon Ball, but it is one of the most misquoted promoted and misinterpreted battles in all of Dragon Ball history. Many fans say that Beerus soloed the other gods of destruction, when in actuality he's only really shown dodging 5 of them and he only manages to damage 1. And even if you say that he defeated Mule, Arak, Champa, and even Jin, as we don't see who defeats these other gods of destruction in the manga itself, Beerus would have fought these gods when they were already tired and battle damaged from other encounters. And based on how damaged Beerus is after his battle with Rumshi, even if Beerus beat 5 other gods of destruction, even if we only see him actually defeat 1, he still would have gotten extremely beat up by the gods of destruction who were already injured from previous battles. But nonetheless, this is still one of my favorite sections in the Dragon Ball Super manga.
This ain't JJK, my boy. You can try to jump people all you want, but if you get one-man army, you probably gonna get put in one of these TikToks. Bojack's whole gang found that out the hard way when they pulled up on Earth and disrupted the natural order of the Z Fighters. Don't get me wrong though, these guys were strong. I mean, they clapped up the Z Fighters for the most part. Trunks and Vegeta were there as well, but it wasn't until Gohan turned Super Saiyan 2 again that things took a different turn. Bojack was seconds away from finishing him off before Goku activated the hacks and intervened somehow, but when Gohan transformed, it was lights out. 4, 5, 6v1. I don't even remember how many of these guys there were. That's how fast they got erased by Gohan. The homie Gohan was treating them like Cell Juniors, just exploding on impact like balloons, and he gave Bojack a one-way ticket to God. Business as usual for Gohan when it counts, right?
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the